LL.
On a day of snow and sleet in the Dallas area, as they say, a wintry mix, we welcome you to American Airlines Center. TNT NBA Thursday being presented by the United States Marine Corps. And this is the fourth and final meeting of the regular season between Houston Rockets and the Dallas Mavericks. It's the red-hot Rockets who have won a franchise record 16 in a row. They've won 20 of their last 21 games. Hi, everybody. I'm Marv Albert. This is Reggie Miller, the czar, Mike Fratello. Well, tonight, the Mavericks will be without their leading scorer, Dirk Nowitzki, serving a one-game suspension for this flagrant foul, the hard hit on Andrei Kirilenko of Utah the other day. Kirilenko suffering a sprained hip, did not play last night in the win over Minnesota. So Nowitzki sits out. Brandon Bass will start in his place, his first start of the season. As we check out the McDonald's starting lineups for the Rockets, Tracy McGrady, Rafer Alston in the backcourt, Dikembe Mutombo starting for the injured Yao Ming. Up front, Shane Battier, the rookie from Argentina, Luis Scola. For Dallas, Jason Kidd at the point, playing his 9th game with the Mavericks. And up front, it's Eric Dampier, Josh Howard, and Brandon Bass. Now look at the officiating crew: Mike Callahan, Bill Kennedy, Leroy Richardson, and we're underway as the Rockets in red control the opening tip. Houston at 40-26. They are 5th in the West, just 2.5 behind the Spurs and the Lakers. Kidd nearly picked it off, and Houston 1 game behind 3rd place New Orleans.
Well, a curious matchup already. You've got Jason Kidd guarding Tracy McGrady. Rick Alleman already trying to put Tracy in the post, trying to get some early foul trouble on Jason Kidd.
Alston putting moves on Terry and scores. Rafer Alston has had a terrific season.
It's really tough to say anyone has been the key for the Rockets because so many people have stepped up. But the one guy who has really shot the ball well, made big plays for them, has been Rafer Alston.
Dallas at 39-22. They have lost their last 2 games. Here is Bass with the first shot of the night for Dallas. Brandon Bass, who came over from the Hornets, had been playing well off the bench until recently. And in the starting lineup tonight, Scola off the spin scores.
You know, that's what he brings to them. When he started January 29th, they've won all their ball games. He brings that versatility on the offensive end because he can face up and take you off the dribble and score.
Here's Terry, had to adjust the shot, back taps, and Howard resets. Jason Kidd uses the pick from Dampier, and an offensive foul is called. So the ball back to Houston.
On the pick and roll, sometimes the screener leaves too early and wipes out the defender on the roll. It's exactly what happened that time. A pick and roll, screener leaves early, wipes out the defensive player coming under. There's the foul.
Foul on Dampier. Rockets on the road at 18-11. They have won their last 5. They're playing back-to-back last night at home. They beat Indiana. Dampier with the block. Here's Kidd finding Howard on the run.
Was Howard saying that he was having a tough time getting used to Jason Kidd? Just run, he'll get you the ball.
Rafer Alston right back, and the Rockets have a 6-4 lead. Howard. Dampier is on it. Dampier has been playing well as of late. He's averaged 12 rebounds over the last 5 games. Howard putting the move on Battier. Look out, Kidd with the hustle. Took it away from McGrady. Howard. Kidd again is on the loose ball. And Jason Kidd hearing it from the crowd. His jump shot way off. Rebounded by Scola.
Tracy McGrady hurt his right ankle, whether he landed awkwardly coming down, but he's limping down the floor, favoring the right ankle.
They doubled up on Alston. Scola. Luis Scola A second-round draft pick of San Antonio back in 2002. The Spurs not able to sign him. Remained overseas. Was a star in the Spanish League. Two-time most valuable player. And this is first season in the NBA at the age of 27. Defensive 3-second call, so technical foul awarded.
Try and find Tracy McGrady here going after that loose ball. At that moment, he reaches down. Kidd went a little bit harder, got there first. Tracy winds up turning the ankle.
And Terry knocks down the free throw off the technical.
You know, you got to marvel at the hustle plays by Jason Kidd early on in this game, getting 2 loose balls, deflections. This is what was missing from this Dallas Maverick team, those little intangible plays.
Since Kidd has come to Dallas, the record is only 4-4. McGrady and the foul. And Avery Johnson telling us it's a process. Guys have to get accustomed to each other. How about the Rockets? They've hit on all 5 of their shot attempts.
Well, this is what Tracy likes to do when he's going to go left. Most of the time, either he's going to go all the way and finish because he's a right-handed player that likes to go left. Right there, he opts to pull up on the smaller Jason Kidd and gets the and one.
3-point play from McGrady. Had a good one last night against the Pacers. 25 points, including 4 from downtown. Howard. And it's kicked away, knocked out of bounds. Last touch by Battier. And they'll put 14 on the shot clock.
Howard has struggled lately, and it's been a series of different things. A back problem, he landed, had a contusion on his back. He had a tough time coming back from that. Some personal problems in the family due to deaths that have taken place to a grandmother, and he just struggled to shoot the basketball.
Here is Kidd. So Kidd with his first field goal. On top of the injury and the loss of his great-grandmother, a woman who helped raise Josh Howard. His best friend, Devin Harris, was traded to the Nets in the deal for Jason Kidd. And he is still looking to click with Jason Kidd, but it also has a lot to do with the bad back. He has not been able to run the way he has in the past. Here's Kidd on the spin, tied up, strip. McGrady thought he had it. Kidd was able to get it to the corner, but Terry rims out, and the ball's deflected out by Scola.
Well, Dallas may not be shooting the ball well right now, but they're certainly hustling to come up with extra shot opportunities at the basket.
Mavericks with their 5th offensive rebound. Terry from Bass.
Nice down screen there by Dampier right there. You work the ball around. Everyone touches the basketball. Nice down screen, wide open shot for Terry.
That's the execution that you look for. That time it looked like the Mavericks from a couple seasons ago where everything was sharp, to the point, execution almost perfect.
Shot clock to 5. Alston on a quick release for 3. Rafer Alston from downtown. He has 7 points. Terry right back. Crowd looking for a foul on Alston. Alston met by Bass on a switch. Good job by Kidd on McGrady. Scola with the step, rejected by Dampier. Bass, yes. So Brandon Bass starting for Dirk Nowitzki has hit his first 2 shot attempts.
Well, the addition of Jason Kidd, you're going to get into the breaks quicker. You're going to get more quick looks. All you have to do is run the floor and let Jason Kidd find you.
McGrady. And back comes Kidd. Mavericks on the run. Rockets did get back. Howard for 3. Yes. The game is tied at 14. 9-3 run here by Dallas. Alston with a teardrop.
A beautiful shot by Alston, but in the past, you would have had the ability to throw the ball back to Yao at the foul line for the jumper. He knew that time it was Dikembe. He had nowhere to throw it. He had to take the teardrop.
And Rafer playing at a very high level during the course of this 16-game Rocket win streak. Nice move by Bass. It counts, and the foul. So Bass will head to the line. 6 points for Bass. The foul committed by Scola. And a timeout with 5:17 remaining in the first.
The NBA on TNT. Brought to you by Southwest Airlines, official airline of the NBA. Southwest Airlines, a symbol of freedom. By Lincoln, reach higher. By Papa John's, order pizza online 24 hours a day at papajohns.com. And by Gatorade, every game needs a hero. Is it in you?
McGrady is playing, as Tracy always does, at a high level. And so you can't stop him. You just try to make it as tough as possible. But everybody else is playing at a high level too. And so, we're going to have our hands full tonight. They're playing with a lot of confidence. And so we're going to have to use home court to try to slow those guys down.
And home court for Dallas has been 25 up and 3 down as they look to stop the Rockets, who have won 16 straight, a franchise record, and 20 of their last 21. They have won 10 straight on the road. Correction, I said 5 straight earlier, but it's 5 straight during the course of the win streak. Brandon Bass to the line, looking to complete a 3-point play. Marv Albert, along with Nazar, Mike Fratello, Reggie Miller. Cheryl Miller was scheduled to work the sideline, but his sister under the weather, which means that you and Nazar will be handling the sideline interviews with the coaches after the first quarter, after the third, which I am looking forward to.
Mike, I don't know about you. I'm excited.
Yeah, Rick Adelman mentioned to me how anxious he was to talk to Reggie at the end of the first quarter.
Well, get well, Cheryl. But you know how those USC Trojans are, always looking for a way out.
No. My girl
Trojans.
She had it really
Get well,
sick.
sissy.
Yep, we miss you.
Are you saying she doesn't play hurt?
All I'm saying, she's not here.
5 minutes to go in this opening quarter. Alston with his first miss, so the ball back to Dallas. Malik Allen now checks in for Dallas.
Well, you mentioned the great home court record that Dallas has. 9 of the next 10 games for the Mavericks here at home. It's time for them to pile up the victory.
This is the first of a 5-game homestand, and it continues. They do have that 1 game in Miami, and then it gets rougher with the games played here at home, and the foul is called on Battier.
Well, speaking with Coach Avery Johnson about all these home games coming up, and I asked him, is there a number? They got 21 games left. Is there a number you're looking at this competitive West? And he said, Reg, we're taking it 1 game at a time. We can't afford the luxury of looking ahead like we did last year when we somewhat controlled our own fate.
No, well, they have 9 out of 10 at home, but in there, like one stretch is Lakers, Boston, San Antonio. Not the easiest stretch of home games.
Saturday night, Dallas home for the Nets. Jason Kidd going against his former team. Devin Harris facing his former team. Jason Kidd forcing the trade out of New Jersey. Wanted to leave. He's back with a second run with the Mavericks, the team that originally drafted him some 14 years back. Scola not able to handle it.
And you see what happened just by Jason Kidd getting up and not allowing Alston to handle the ball. Scola tried to get them into their offense. It wound up being a turnover.
Kidd being played by Alston. Here's Stackhouse, who just came on way off. McGrady and Alston in the backcourt. Mutombo up front as McGrady fires. It's Mutombo with Battier and Scola. That's 5 points for McGrady.
And Brandon Bass is going to have to come up quicker. When you're guarding Dikembe Mutombo with Tracy McGrady come up, you're going to have to show quicker on T-Mac.
This is Malik Allen. Allen coming to the Mavericks as part of that deal involving Devin Harris and Jason Kidd.
Different kind of power forward, the kind that can face up 18 to 20 feet and make jump shots on a regular basis, not a post-up type player.
Alston for 3. Stolen with the save. McGrady able to bank it home. That save went through the legs of Brandon Bass.
Does his leg get an assist on that?
Yes. Mavericks up by 1. Here is the Kid. And back come the Rockets.
I don't mind that shot by Jason Kidd. Avery Johnson wants Jason Kidd to be more aggressive offensively.
Here's Battier with a runner. Mutombo on the putback. 41-year-old Dikembe Mutombo. He'll be 42 in June. 4-time Defensive Player of the Year, an 8-time All-Star. And surprising a lot of people with his play.
Rick Adelman mentioning to us that at first he felt if I played him in 4 or 5 minute spurts, that would be the best way to do it. But he's realized since then that's not. He can go 9 and 10 minutes straight. Somewhere between 20 to 28 minutes a night is what Adelman's counting on.
If he can get 28 minutes out of Dikembe Mutombo, that's going to be huge.
McGrady coming up short. Kidd is on it. Rockets get back. Allen with the open shot. Just under 2 to go in this opening quarter. The Rockets 22 and the Mavericks 21. And a timeout called by Rick Adelman.
Like I said, when you come off the pick and roll, when you've got a shooter like T-Mac, you've got to crowd him early. Welcome back to American Airlines Center, and Dikembe really not known for his offensive rebound right here, put back. But we know Dikembe for the finger wag. Most blocks in NBA history. And I've been on a couple end of those, not as many as the center I played with most of my career, Rick Smith, but trying to drive in there to mount Dikembe. We always used to get the finger wave, Marv.
And block shots actually became an official stat back in 1973. But you saw the leaders, Hakeem and then Dikembe and Kareem. Did the finger wave bother you if you were on the wrong end of it?
No, not at all. It's part of his shtick, so I understand that. But I know Charles Barkley in the green room right now is laughing because when you said 41-year-old Dikembe Mutombo, because Charles swears he's about 52. He swears Dikembe is 52.
And Dikembe's become very sensitive about that subject. Here is McGrady coming up short. Chuck Hayes has come on for the Rockets for the first-time access. Carl Landry, the rookie from Purdue. Stackhouse on a catch and shoot. Back tap, but handled by McGrady.
Stackhouse, who's averaging about 10 points per game right now for the season for Dallas, averaging 17 in the 3 games against Houston this season.
Hayes fouled. Nice setup from McGrady. And Hayes to the line. Foul is called on Stackhouse. Chuck Hayes, last season a starter for 78 games, averaged 7 rebounds per game. Very strong on the offensive glass. The correction is Carl Landry at the line, the rookie out of Purdue. He was fouled, and he was way off on that free throw.
Adelman is really high on Landry's. The little things that he's done since he's gotten more time rebounding loose balls. Now with Yao being out, him and Stola are going to have to man the middle with rebounds and hustle plays.
Landry hitting 1 of 2, and the Rockets lead by 2.
Landry has taken the minutes away from Hayes. Hayes playing now because of them being a little short-handed with Yao out. But Landry's 3 inches bigger, a little bit stronger, a little heavier, and a much better offensive player than Hayes.
Another defensive three called on the Rockets. So Stackhouse will shoot it. A reminder, national coverage of the NBA continues Friday on ESPN. It's the Bulls and the Celtics, followed by the Spurs and the Nuggets. Coverage starting 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Saturday on NBA TV, it's the Hornets and Rockets. And then Sunday on ABC, Spurs and Suns. Coverage begins at 3 o'clock Eastern Time. Allen. Earlier tonight in the first of our TNT doubleheader, the Bulls beat the Cavaliers 107-96. Nice move by McGrady. LeBron James with 39. 23 apiece for Gordon and Dang. Rockets have a foul to give. Pass intended for Dampier. Saved by Kidd. Stackhouse. Dampier tips it to Allen. (25-24) Rockets. Reggie Miller making his way toward the Rocket bench to chat with Rick Adelman.
He now goes to his next job as our sideline reporter.
That's a 24-second violation. Much more spacious here, though, with the two guys.
Now we can spread our notes out.
Oh, this is so much better. 4 seconds remaining in the first quarter.
The idea is to try and get the ball as far down the court as you can. 4.6 seconds is a lot of time. You can take 1 or 2 dribbles and still get a shot off.
And here's Jason Terry checking in. There's Reggie, looking very studious, getting ready. Terry will throw in. Howard back to Terry. They have that foul to give. That will not count. Foul committed by Hayes.
You always hear coaches say you must know the time and score. You also must know the foul situation, when you have one to give and when the right time to take one is.
Stackhouse for the inbounds. Howard turns and comes up short. 9 points for McGrady, 9 for Alston, 7 for Howard. And after 1, here in Dallas, it's the Rockets by 1. Back in Dallas, TNT NBA Thursday is being presented by the United States Marine Corps. Now let's go to our Cub reporter, Reggie Miller, filling in for his sister Cheryl with Rockets head coach Rick Adelman.
Coach, you like the pace of that first half?
Yeah, I like what we did. They made a lot of shots early, but we maintained it. My only worry is Dampier's awful big. We're not very big inside. We got to rebound the ball.
With no Dirk tonight, Brandon Bass played pretty well in his absence. What did you talk to your team about no Dirk tonight?
Well, I think we just knew everybody else was going to get opportunities, and we've seen Bass before. He's played well against us. So they still have a lot of offensive weapons, and they played together a while. So I don't think they're going to drop off. They need Dirk, but they still got guys to score.
Appreciate it, Coach.
Head coach of the Rockets, Rick Adelman, in his first year with Houston, taking over from Jeff Van Gundy, who was head coach for 4 years. Second quarter is underway. Bobby Jackson on the floor for the first time for the Rockets. He played for Rick Adelman with Sacramento, his 6th game as a member of Houston, coming over from the Hornets. And a nice move by Carl Landry, originally a second-round draft pick of Seattle. Rockets acquired him for a future second-round pick and other considerations. Rockets now lead it by 3. Howard coming up short, rebounded by Howard, and he scores. Josh Howard comes off a strong game in the loss the other night to the Jazz. 9 of 13, 25 points, his best game in some time. Here's Hayes. Chuck Hayes with the bucket.
You saw Dallas come quickly. As soon as they saw McGrady with the ball in the low post area, they came, doubled him. McGrady immediately felt it, found the open man in the lane.
Howard. And back comes Jackson. Set by Terry. McGrady now being played by Malik Allen. Goes right at him and puts it home.
You look who's surrounded Tracy McGrady right now. You got Hayes, you've got Landry, Bobby Jackson, and Luther Head. These are all role, dirty work players. Gives a chance for the star to shine.
Dallas takes a timeout. They go with Jason Terry at the point. Avery Johnson providing a rest for Jason Kidd. So Rockets off to a 6-2 advantage at the start of the second quarter.
Now watch Tracy McGrady make this look easy. That's a 6'10 player, and right in front of him is Dan Pierre, a 7-footer. He just splits the difference, gets it up over the top, and converts the easy 6-7-foot floater. There's great concentration that time by McGrady.
And during this 16-game win streak, Rockets just under 50% shooting in the first half. They're at 64 tonight on 14 of 22.
As you mentioned that they have workman-like type players surrounding McGrady. They also have guys who can make shots because they anticipate that McGrady is going to draw a double team very often. So Jackson can shoot it, Head can shoot it, Landry can shoot it.
And Devin George shows that he can shoot it. The basket counts and a loose ball foul is called. Foul is on the Mavericks, but the basket does count.
Fouls on Juwan Howard right there. He just threw Carl Landry into the first row right there, trying to box him out. You see right here, nice shot there by Devin George, and Landry on the ground right there, trying to box out.
Landry taking that pass down low from Hayes.
Great poise by the rookie that time. He caught the ball, gathered himself, got his base underneath, a little ball fake, and then finished.
33-28. Rockets with the lead. Dallas without Dirk Nowitzki, serving that one-game suspension. Here's Stackhouse, rebounded by Luther Head. Head with McGrady, Jackson, Landry, and Hayes. Nice look from McGrady. Once again, it's Landry.
That size of a passer. McGrady able to look over the defense. Very similar in Cleveland, what happens with LeBron James. They may double team him, but he's so big and strong, he looks over the top and makes the pass.
And Terry draws the foul.
Well, Coach, you talked about the size, but you've got to be able to have finishers. And Carl Landry, even though he's a big guy, he has nice, soft hands. And whenever you have soft hands as a big guy, and you have a passer like Tracy McGrady, you always want to pick and roll because you're going to get wide open shots.
And if you notice, the defenders for Dallas had their hands at their sides, Reggie, rather than having the hands up in the air pressuring the passer. As a result, McGrady was able to throw the ball over the top and find an open teammate.
Jason Terry coming back from that hard fall that he took in the game on Sunday against the Lakers, banging his right shoulder, says he's all right. That's point number 5 for Terry. Rockets with a 35-30 lead. 3 minutes gone by in the second quarter. Rockets at 40-20 in the number 5 spot in the West, just 2.5 behind the Spurs and the Lakers. Again, a good pass from McGrady to set it up for Landry. How about the rookie Landry with 9 points? Houston is 6 for 6 from the field in the second quarter off the steal. Here's Jackson, and he's called for steps.
Yeah, Bobby Jackson has struggled offensively since he's come over to Houston, shooting just 30% from the floor, 25 from the three-point line, and just 67 from the foul line.
Biggest lead of the night for the Rockets with 8:35 remaining. First half.
Way to move the ball, man. Every time we move the ball, we've got something good. Nice.
what Avery Johnson is talking about is sharing the basketball and then execution, setting good screens, coming off the screens, making the pass right on time, making a good pass, then catching and shooting. And here we see our Western Conference standings with San Antonio winning tonight. They take a half-game lead at 43-17. If it ended tonight, San Antonio would match up with Golden State. I don't know who wants to play Golden State in the first round this year.
I don't know who wants to play San Antonio.
Spurs beat the Pacers 108-97 to make it 11 straight wins. Foul is called on Jason Kidd, who just checked back in following the timeout. For Kidd, a second foul. And this unit for the Rockets has played very well. A good run for Chuck Hayes and the rookie Carl Landry, Bobby Jackson, and Tracy McGrady in the backcourt. McGrady's shot blocked by Devin George. Terry played by Head. Gets the pick from Juwan Howard. They double up on Terry. Pass behind Terry. He's able to recover.
Deflections, loose balls.
Well, we've seen it at both ends. At
Right.
one end, Scola bounces it off somebody's leg and it winds up in his teammate's hands for a layup. And we've seen two bounce in for Dallas tonight.
Once again, the setup for Landry. He's been wide open, cutting to the basket. He has 11 points.
Landry and Scola have one thing in common. They know where to go when they don't have the basketball. They find the open spot, and then the teammates look for them and find them. They both can catch, both can finish.
This kid, he lost his balance. Howard on the recovery. Howard with the rebound. And he'll head to the line. Juwan Howard getting that second opportunity.
Well, the pick and roll situation, if it's not Tracy McGrady, Luther Head's doing a good job of the give and go right there. He kind of sets a little brush screen on Jason Kidd, and Juwan Howard goes over to Luther Head, leaves a wide open Landry. But if there's any criticism to Carl Landry's game, is he's not a great rebounder for his size. Yes, he has good hands, good, nice soft hands, and he understands offensively, but defensively, he's going to have to rebound the basketball, especially with Yao being out.
Are we allowed to give him any time to develop, or you want to get rid of him today? Would you like to trade him this evening?
He said if there's any little
I'm just asking a
criticism.
question.
Spoken like a true coach.
Now, Reggie, this started 2 hours before tonight's game.
You're right.
It's that annoyance trait that comes out. Lazar looking to pick away. Here's Jackson. And a foot on the line. It's a two-pointer. So Bobby Jackson drills it, and the Rockets now lead 41-33. It's their biggest lead of the night. Terry. And it's deflected away. Last touched by Bass of the Mavs.
Bobby Jackson is never going to be a high field goal percentage shooter because he takes so many off-balance shots, but he is a big shot maker, and he's not afraid to take a big shot.
Rockets have been 8 of 9 from the field in the second quarter. Off-balance shot this time by Landry. Rebounded by George. Dallas going without Dirk Nowitzki tonight, serving that one-game suspension. Juwan Howard. And he thought he was fouled. Rocket player is down.
And as he was going in for that layup right there, it looked like Chuck Hayes.
Whoa. Like he took a shot in the groin or midsection. And the Rockets take a timeout.
I don't know how this was not a foul right here. Juwan Howard gets the ball up top. No one around as he's going down for the lay-in. Chuck Hayes gets in the way.
The NBA on TNT, brought to you by Toyota, moving forward, and by the new KFC Toasted Wrap. It's not done till it's toasted. Life tastes better with KFC.
Karma.
Karma this, dummy.
I just won $100,000 and was immediately hit by a car. karma.
At TBS, get what you deserve. My name is Earl. Monday at 10 on TBS. Very funny.
Well, the snow has stopped here in Dallas, but a bitter cold 32-degree night. In Dallas, Texas, Rockets going up against the Mavs. The head coach of the Rockets, Rick Adelman, named the Western Conference Coach of the Month for February. One-time head coach of Sacramento and Portland, twice led the Blazers to the NBA Finals, losing to Detroit and Chicago. Had great success with the Kings in his 8 years there. Foul is called on Devin George. Overall, his teams have won 50 or more 9 times in his 16 years as a head coach, and as a player spent 7 seasons in the NBA as a point guard.
Portland team won 63 games one year, and in Sacramento they won 61 games another year. So he's kind of tested all those levels of victories for a team.
Wild pass, Howard with the throw intended for Bass, but a whistle on the play and a foul is called. It's against the Rockets. It is on Landry.
I don't agree with this call right here by Leroy Richardson, because there was no way that Bass was going to be able to catch the basketball. There was a slight nudge in the back.
We're told that Chuck Hayes, who was shaken up just a moment ago, went back to the Rocket locker room with the athletic trainer, Keith Jones. Bass leaning in. And it's picked up by Scola, who came on for Hayes.
Well, this is going to be the challenge for this Rocket team with no Yao for the rest of the season, and when Tracy McGrady goes to the bench, where are the points going to come from as you look at this lineup on the floor right now for the Rockets?
And what they've realized is they really have to dig in defensively, because they can score through the defense. If they get stops, run and get some easy scores, get on the offensive glass, someone's got to create shots for teammates here.
Nice fake by Terry. He thought he was fouled. Terry from the other side. 9 points for Jason Terry. Dallas within 4. Bobby Jackson and Luther Head in the backcourt. Landry's up front with Battier and Scola. Shot clock to 1. Landry just did graze the rim. Back comes Kidd.
Reggie, you called it exactly. You could see them struggling that time in the turnover by Jason Kidd. Struggling to decide how they were going to get a shot up and where they were going. And now who re-enters the game but Tracy McGrady? I think Rick Adelman understood that they were searching also for a way to score.
Rockets had scored only once with McGrady taking a seat on the bench. Rafer Alston also getting set to check back in.
Well, the backcourt for the Rockets, 9 of 16, 20 points. I think Adelman senses the sense of urgency to get these guys back on the floor.
They double up on McGrady. Here's Landry. And the foul is called. Juwan Howard taking the hit and is called for a second foul.
Go back to Tracy McGrady, who just re-entered the game. He has the ability to elevate and look up over the top of his smaller defenders. 2 times in a row he pulls up 2 baskets. And then also, because of the size, he can find open teammates and help get them easy baskets. Right now, 5 for 9 from the floor, 11 points from McGrady along with 2 assists.
Rookie out of Purdue, Carl Landry, only a 65% free throw shooter.
How often, Reggie, do rookies come in the league and not shoot well from the foul line, and then they get better as they go on in their career?
Well, most rookies do get better because you've got more time to work. Obviously, they don't get fouled as many times as a superstar unless they are a rookie superstar. But bigger guys tend to get better as the career goes on because they understand they're going to be getting fouled more.
Terrific second quarter, though, for Landry. 11 of his 12 points have come here in the second. Rockets with a 42-37 lead. Here's the double again on McGrady. Battier for 3.
Those sets double teaming and having your hands at your side. You have to come and be big so they can't throw straight line passes out of the double team. That was a straight line pass for McGrady to Battier, which led to the 3-pointer.
Terry using the pick from Dampier. Jason Terry with 11 points. Rockets up by 6. Here's Alston. And Stackhouse lands in the first row, not able to control that back tap.
Well, Coach, I'm wondering, why are they doubling Tracy McGrady so early? Let him get into his move before you bring Eric Dampier or another body. Right now, they're just doubling off the catch.
Scola able to recover off yet another deflection.
There's one of those passes that happens to bounce around and lands in somebody's hands, and you wind up with an easy 2 points.
6 points for Luis Scola. Rockets up 47-39. Here is Terry. He's been the Dallas offense.
Well, back in November, Terry was coming off the bench for Dallas, and he had 31 points against this Houston team coming in off the bench.
Scola. Good box out by Bass. Dallas won the previous 3 games against Houston. They've won the last 6 against the Rockets, 18 of the last 23. Coming up on 2 minutes to play in the first half. Nice move by Terry. He scores. Jason Terry. 15 for Terry. 12 of the 15 here in the second quarter. Crowd wanted a popping violation on Alston. Alston gets it back to Landry, and he is fouled. He is hit by Bass. Timeout is called with just under 2 to go in this first half. Jason Terry with another strong move. All right, it's time now for the somewhat provocative Reggie's Remarks, presented by AT&T.
Somewhat.
Hedging.
They're getting better. Hey, this one, Jason Kidd, 99 triple-doubles. I just wanted to know how many players have registered a triple-double with 3 different teams. Obviously, this is his returning to his 4th team, but he played for him once before.
Yeah.
Well, there's 12 players.
Wow.
Jason Kidd and Dikembe Mutombo has done it 3 times. And our good friend, Mark Jackson, but that really doesn't count because Mark has played for 2/3 of the team in the league. So,
yes,
law of averages, he was going to get a triple-double with 3 different teams.
Mark actually holds the NBA record. He has played with 85% of the league. Charles Barkley, you notice, on the list?
Yes, in the studio.
This is Carl Landry, who's had his ups and downs. At the line, he's 2 of 5 at the free throw line. Rockets have a 4-point lead. Houston looking to make it 17 straight wins. They've won 16 in a row, a franchise record since Yao was sidelined and underwent surgery earlier this week. Rockets have gone 4-0. Here's Dampier. Stopped by Scola. Good recovery.
Nice play drawn up that time because they were anticipating that Scola was going to step out to help on Terry coming off the screen. They slipped the screen into the rim looking for the lob.
McGrady gets it down low. Scola played by George. Alston from downtown. And it's punched back outside. They have the new shot clock.
Look at all the different players that have played Tracy McGrady. Jason Kidd started off on him. Now you got Devin George as he takes it to the hoop and uses the glass. But Avery Johnson trying to use different players to guard Tracy McGrady tonight. This is the 3rd defender on him.
13 points for McGrady. Mavericks at 39-22. They've lost their last 2. They've gone only 5-5 over their last 10 games. Reach-in foul is called. Foul is on Alston. And right here, let's check in with Ernie Johnson back in our Atlanta studios. Ernie.
We're still soaking in Reggie's remarks. Southwest Airlines game break coming up in just a few minutes. Kenny and Charles will analyze the first half in Dallas, and later on Inside, all the highlights, plus John Thompson's conversation with new Celtic Sam Cassell. Now back to Dallas. Marv and Mike and Reg, guys.
Thank you, Ernie.
Soaking it in.
Paying attention.
It's out there, baby.
Next foul on the Rockets puts them over the limit. Down to 45 seconds to go in this first half. And Terry is fouled by Mutombo, who just checked back in.
You saw Mutombo get caught that time, kind of zoning off the area. Mutombo upset with the fact that he feels Terry brought the left arm up at the end. Watch right at the end, the left arm of Terry. There he hits Mutombo in the chest. That's what Mutombo was complaining about.
That was a foul. That happened after he rode him off the way to the basket.
Dikembe has not fouled yet, Reggie, in his career. You know that.
I love Dikembe. You love him.
Jason Terry with point number 16. Dikembe still upset, taking a long look in the direction of the official Bill Kennedy as he is replaced by Luis Scola. Houston's lead is 3, and Terry with 14 of his 17 points in the second quarter. Now single coverage on McGrady, gets it down low. Good play by George on the block. Scola. And a loose ball foul is called. Both teams are over the foul limit. This is on the Mavs. So the Rockets will go to the line. Out on Stackhouse, that is his second, and Scola will shoot 2. Well, the postman always rings twice, it says here, but you just have to log on and click TNT Overtime on NBA.com for Reggie's Mailbag. TNT Overtime on NBA.com, where you can get TNT NBA Thursday 7 days a week.
Do we have 2 things? We have Reggie's Remarks,
yes, we do,
and Reggie's Mailbag.
You're saying that he's being overhyped?
And Reggie, the sideline reporter, and Reggie, the color comp. So it's all about Reggie tonight.
I'm a jack of all trades, Coach. I try to do everything. That's like how I play. Making sure I do a little bit of everything.
Final seconds of the first half. George got it away on time and hits a rainbow with 0.8 of a second remaining in the half. Luther Head comes up short. Devin George from downtown to bring the Mavericks within 2. Time running out. Just got it off. Coming up, following a quick break, we take you to our Atlanta studios for the T-Mobile Halftime Report. Welcome back to Dallas, Texas, and tonight's high-definition aerial is being brought to you by Aaron's. Houston Rockets try to make it 17 straight wins. They have a 52-50 lead on the Mavericks. Marv Albert, Reggie Miller, the czar, Mike Fratello. Here's Dallas without Dirk Nowitzki serving the one-game suspension. The shooting in the first half for the Mavs, 41%. Houston at 54%, yet the Rockets lead by 2.
Well, if you're at Dallas right now, you're feeling pretty good about yourself because the guy who has stepped up for them is Jason Terry. He has taken 12 field goal attempts in the first half. He's made 6 out of the 12 for 17 points. He's done it with some timely shooting coming off screens and then created off the dribble and the ability to finish and convert around the rim. So with Nowitzki missing, they know that Terry earlier in the year, back in November, had 31 against this team. They've gone to him here in the first half.
And Reggie, for the Rockets, this is a club that has really gotten a huge lift from the rookie out of Purdue, Carl Landry.
Well, he has great hands and size. You know, he's only 6'8", 6'9", but with the absence of Yao Ming, he can do a little bit of everything. Takes the ball off the dribble, gets a shot. In the pick-and-roll situation, you've got to have good hands when you're playing with Tracy McGrady. The nice reverse right there, 5 of 7, 12 points, came into the game averaging 8 points. You've got to be able to have soft hands in this game.
All right, a look at tonight's Chrysler game summary. Houston at 54, as I mentioned, 22 of 41 from the field. Dallas just 19 of 46 for 41%. 12 assists for the Mavericks. Jason Kidd with 3, Jason Terry with 3. That's a high number for Dallas for a half. And Houston with the edge in terms of points in the paint and off the bench, thanks to Carl Landry. Jason Kidd played 16 minutes, just 1 of 4 from the field. Tracy McGrady 6 for 10, 13 points, and he is the high man for the Rockets. Rockets at 40 and 20. They're 5th in the West. 2.5 games behind the Lakers. Now 3 behind the Spurs. The Spurs winning earlier tonight as they knocked off Indiana 108-97 to make it 11 straight wins. And Bass off the mark to open up this third quarter. Earlier tonight here on TNT, the Bulls defeated the Cavaliers 107-96 despite 39 for LeBron James. And the foul is called. It is on Dampier. That is his second.
Tracy McGrady trying to get going early in this second half, taking the ball into the basket, getting fouled. Only 9 free throws for the Rockets.
But you sounded kind of surprised early in the game when they started out, Dallas, with Jason Kidd guarding McGrady. Here they start the second half again. The other choice would be for them to go with Howard on McGrady, but then Kidd would have to play Shane Battier.
Well, you don't want Jason Kidd expending that much energy at the defensive end. He's going to be spending a lot at the offensive end trying to get everyone into their offensive sets.
Just underway, third quarter. Josh Howard trying to step back on Tracy McGrady.
And there you see the matchup at the other end of the floor, opposite of what we just talked about. McGrady wound up playing Howard.
Howard now 3 of 11. McGrady with a nice move. Howard lost his balance.
Well, you saw Josh Howard tried to step back and it didn't work on Tracy McGrady. I think Tracy McGrady kind of executed it a little bit better. More separation, higher elevation on the jump shot.
Rockets up by 5. Terry changed his mind. Here's Kidd for 3.
Avery Johnson was very encouraged about the shooting ability of Jason Kidd prior to the game when we talked to him about things that he sees now from Jason that maybe he didn't realize. One of them that he said was, I think he shoots it better than I thought he did shoot it.
I think he's trying to encourage Jason. And Kidd pulls up and fires and hits again. Well, maybe he is being encouraged by Avery Johnson.
You keep talking about him when he's flying by us here. He's going to keep shooting and making them.
The game is tied at 55.
Well, Avery went on to say he can kind of relate because a lot of people didn't think he was a great shooter when he played a reluctant shooter.
Shot clock down to 5. McGrady, yes. 18 points for McGrady. Did try to get it to Bass. Here's Alston with Howard back. Looked like Howard got a piece of it.
Tough conversion that time for Alston. He took it right at the bigger man, came up on the other side of the rim, used the rim to protect it a little bit.
Another Dallas turnover as Kidd trying to find Howard.
Alston realizes that he has Howard coming, chasing him, trying to block it, but he comes to the other side of the rim and banks it off the glass.
59-55 Houston. Fourth and final meeting of the season between these two clubs. Dallas won the previous 3. Oh, nice move. Little scoop from Luis Scola.
You know, I was coming down on an elevator with Tracy McGrady as he was getting on the bus, and he was kind of shaking his head. I'm like, what's up? He's like, you know, I was listening to Charles in pregame, and he was like, I don't make my teammates better. And he kind of took offense to that. And I kind of disagree with Charles because he hasn't had the same supporting cast as a lot of other superstars. Now with Yao being out, This is a chance for Tracy McGrady to do something he's never done before. Get to the second round and elevate his team.
And as you say, that had the ball knocked out of his hands. Mutombo landing on it and called for a timeout to preserve the possession.
There's a 41-year-old diving on the floor to save a loose ball and calling a timeout to give his team the ball back again.
6-0 run for the Rockets. We'll be back to Dallas in a moment.
The NBA on TNT, brought to you by Chrysler. Engineered beautifully. And by Wendy's. It's way better than fast food. It's Wendy's.
A look at future Hall of Famer Jason Kidd, 10-time All-Star. One of the new Mavericks. Jason recently visited with children from the Jefferson Street Center here in Dallas, where he helped to unveil the team's new Reading and Learning Center. The refurbished center has 50 new computers and educational resources and creates a safe place where students can focus on their studies. The NBA, where caring happens. Mavericks putting Jason to work in the community immediately. 8.5 remaining in this third quarter, and the Rockets off to a fast start. At the 6-point lead, Stoller rejected by Dampier. Kid being played by McGrady, lost him on the screen and sets it up for Dampier.
Gets the block at one end, changes the game. Pick and roll with Jason Kidd. Easy two-footer.
Avery Johnson mentioned to us that the plays that he's used to drawing up seem to work a lot better when you've got a guy like Jason Kidd passing the basketball. Suddenly, Dampier's hands have become much better.
That was assist number 4 for Kidd. Here's Battier for 3. Hit one at the end of the first half.
You better rethink that, because if you let Shane Battier stand and shoot threes, he will make them.
He's just under 40% from beyond that three-point line. Bass kicks it out. Howard, and he's hit from behind.
This is Charles saying that Tracy McGrady does not make his teammates better. Right there, you come double team him, he's going to find the wide open guy.
Foul committed by Shane Battier, putting Josh Howard at the line. He's 2 of 2 at the line, shooting only 3 of 12 from the field.
If you're going to run and double team a player on the floor, you know that the player, if he's unselfish, is going to pass the basketball. You then have to have rotations that make sense. You just can't leave a guy standing and shooting unless he's a terrible perimeter shooter. Shane Battier is not a bad perimeter shooter, so you must rotate to him.
Rockets up by 6. 4.5 gone by in the third. Alston, very tough angle shot. Rafer Alston has had the hot hand. 13 points for Alston. And that is a kickball. Kidd looking for Bass down low.
So while McGrady leads this team, you've got Alston chipping in with 13. You have Landry coming off the bench chipping in with 13. And Scola with 10. And there's 30-something points between the, quote, other guys.
Well, Avery Johnson electing to go small now. He brings in Devin George for Brandon Bass to leave one true center out there in Eric Dampier.
And the pass picked off by Alston. Here's McGrady. Back it goes to Alston. Beautifully executed. 2-on-1. Rockets have opened up a 10-point lead. It's their biggest of the night.
That wasn't McGrady that threw that pass, was it, Reg?
Yes, it was.
In other words, he helped the teammate out again.
There's Terry with a catch and shoot. Rebound Battier. Ball knocked away, recovered by McGrady. Again, they go with the double. Alston for three. Kidd pops it down. Howard on the run. Josh Howard having a rough night. McGrady. Mutombo with the rebound. It's a 10-point Houston lead. Just under 6 remaining in the third. McGrady looking for the steal. George for three. Kevin George ended the first half with that rainbow three with 1 second to play.
Jason Kidd is so smart because as soon as he realized that obviously McGrady missed on the steal, one dribble towards the rim makes the defender commit from the corner, then he finds his teammate for a three.
A shot by George ended a 13-3 run. Here's Battier, this time off the mark at a three-point attempt. Rebounded by George. Terry on the move. Whips by McGrady and throws it away. Alston picks it off. Alston puts the speed on and draws the foul.
And we've seen part of the reason why Avery Johnson moves Jason Terry over to the two-guard shooting guard position. 2 times in a row, turnovers by Jason Terry when he's got to make a decision with the ball in his hands.
Foul committed by George. Rafer Alston will head to the line. A reminder, national coverage of the NBA continues Friday on ESPN. It's the Bulls and Celtics, followed by the red-hot Spurs and the Nuggets, starting at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Saturday on NBA TV, it's the Hornets and the Rockets. And then Sunday on ABC, Spurs and Suns, starting at 3 o'clock Eastern Time. This has been a career year for Rafer Alston, known as Skip to My Lou in the schoolyards of New York, from Queens in New York City. And his 9th NBA season out of Fresno State, and has had an excellent all-around year.
Well, Steve Francis is out for the rest of the year with the torn quadriceps. They draft Aaron Brooks. They were thinking about trading Rafer Alston at the beginning of the season as he comes up with another steal.
In fact, Alston reported to training camp and felt just a matter of where he would be headed. McGrady too strong on that shot. Comes to Mutombo. Dallas calls for time.
Well, credit Scola for that basket because he came over the back of the Dallas player, kept it alive by tipping it right to his teammate. Shot goes up, the block out. Watch Scola. He keeps it alive. Mutombo finishes it off.
.7 assists for Tracy McGrady as his Rockets have taken a 72-61 lead. Here's a little graphic put together by Charles with some help back in the studio. Reggie, Tracy has been to the playoffs 6 times and has failed to get out of the first round every year. 2001 with Orlando, lost to the Bucks in 4, lost to the Charlotte Hornets in 4 as a member of the Magic, lost to the Pistons in 7. The Magic, remember, led that series 3-1. Then on to Houston, lost to the Mavs in 7. They blew a 2-0 lead. And last season lost to the Jazz in 7 after taking the first 2 games and lost a Game 7 at home in Houston.
Well, really, the first few series, he really wasn't expected to win. These last 2 being up 2-0 as Josh Howard kisses it off the bank. He was expected to win. Going up 2-0 against Dallas and Utah, they were expected to win those series and fell short.
I don't know if you've convinced Charles. I'm sure we'll hear more later on. Shot clock to 5. Alston. Rafer Alston with 19 points. Just under 4 minutes to play in the third quarter. And Howard bottled up and fouled by Mutombo.
Skip Malou going to his left right here. Double team. Goes baseline. A little fading out of bounds. And when you're feeling it, coach, you can kind of shoot off 1 and 2 feet like Rafer is doing. But just to go a little bit further, we were talking about Tracy McGrady getting out of the first round. You can kind of make a parallel to Kevin Garnett. If it's not for Sam Cassell and Latrell getting to Minnesota when he got to the Western Conference Finals. That's the first time he's been out of the first round as well. Now he has a great opportunity now being in Boston, but you can make the same thing, the same parallel to Kevin Garnett.
There are similarities, and in Garnett's case and Minnesota T-Wolves, they usually were seated right at the bottom of the West and would have to face
San Antonio
the best
or
teams.
the Lakers.
10-point Rocket lead. Kid got picked off. Here's Alston. Rebounded by Dampier. George for three. And Scola pulls it down.
Let me see. You've got Jason Kidd, Josh Howard, and even Jerry Stackhouse on the floor. And Devin George comes down and pulls up a three.
McGrady fielded by Mutombo. McGrady, yes. That's a two. He had a foot on the line, and the Rockets have opened up a 12-point lead.
Backcourt for Houston, 17 for 32 right now, totaling 39 points.
Another nice move by Howard, who's showing some signs after the slow start. Just under 3 to go in the third. McGrady draws the foul. It's on Howard. He gets the continuation. The basket counts.
It should count, but they're not going to count it. Bill Kennedy said it happened, but he didn't put the ball back on the floor, so that should be an and one, Coach.
I think Kennedy was saying that the foul took place as he was dribbling the ball.
There's the foul.
He's pointing down to the floor immediately, meaning the ball was on the ground when the foul took place. If he had elevated, Reggie, obviously it's a continuation. The ball would count.
You work over here with us now. You don't have to be politically correct like you were as a coach.
Just my observation.
Okay.
Reggie.
Did you feel he was politically correct as a coach?
Yes, he always tried to go the right way. You see something wrong, it's okay to say it.
Rafer Alston hits the three. He has 22 points, 13 of the 22 in the third quarter. Rockets lead 79-66. Nice move by Stackhouse, and he's fouled. He's cut off by Scola. So Alston is one off his season high with 22 points. Stackhouse will go to the line with his Mavericks down by 13. A Dallas team that has won 25 of 28 here at home. The Mavs without Dirk Nowitzki tonight, sitting out, suspended for one game without pay for that flagrant foul on Andre Kirilenko in the first quarter of that loss to Utah Monday night. Kirilenko suffering a sprained hip, did not play in the win over Minnesota last night. That suspension will cost Nowitzki in the area of $200,000. 79-68 Rockets. McGrady extends the lead.
Howard just can't stay with him on his first step. He's by him on the first step, turning the corner, but it's impossible to catch back up to him.
He's so long.
22 points for McGrady. Scola jumping in the path of Howard and took it away. It's a 2-on-1. Alston with Battier. Shane Battier from Rafer Alston, and Dallas wants to talk.
Right now, we're seeing a team full of confidence. 16 wins in a row right here. They understand one another. The steal by Scola. He gets the ball in the middle to skip to Malucha. The easy layup to Battier.
You're excited.
You're going to have to decide to get some stops like now. I'm telling you, right now you're going to have to decide to start getting some stops and runs and take care of the ball. One possession at a time. Everybody do your job defensively. We got to attack. Come on, let's go.
And right now, Dallas Mavericks shooting almost 42%. And what Avery Johnson wants is a little bit of more ball movement. But right now, since the Jason Kidd trade, Josh Howard really offensively has really been struggling. Tonight, 3 of 13 from the field, only 6 rebounds. This is a guy that was averaging almost 20 points coming into tonight's contest. Just hasn't found that rhythm with Jason Kidd.
And there are some similarities when you look at the Phoenix Suns trading for Shaquille O'Neal, the Dallas Mavericks trading for Jason Kidd. And this game is far from over, but Dallas at 4 up and 4 down since Kidd has come to the Mavericks, and the Suns have been struggling. Alston called on that foul, his second, and both teams feel it'll take a little time to adjust. Here's Terry facing a double. Is called for the offensive foul.
Let's see if the left arm comes out from Jason Terry as he tries to turn the corner. Landry's waiting for him. Tough to see from that angle, but it looked like the left arm came out, and Landry did a pretty good job of acting.
Getting back to that point, this is a Dallas team that won 67 games last season, most in the NBA, and then they got knocked out in the first round by the Golden State Warriors. And the feeling was coming into this season, this team would be judged solely on their performance in the playoffs. Terry off the mark. It's also a Dallas team going tonight without Dirk Nowitzki, so it's difficult to make a judgment on what we're seeing.
And you talk about Phoenix, you got to understand, Phoenix had the best record in the West at the time of the trade for Shaquille O'Neal. Scola knocks down another one, so big gambles by owners Mark Cuban and Robert Sarver of the Phoenix Suns, trying to make something happen right now in the present. You know, I think it's a Band-Aid when you go get Jason Kidd and Shaquille O'Neal. You know, I think the Powell trade, that's for the future. You know he's going to be there for a while. When you go out and get Shaquille O'Neal and Jason Kidd, you're telling the fans, your teammates, everyone, we want to win it right now. The window is right now.
Foul was called on Landry, and there have been a host of new additions in the Western Conference, starting with Kyle Korver, who is basically an instant offense guy in Utah, 24-6 since that trade. Look at the Lakers, 13-2 since the acquisition of Gasol. And it is too early at this point to make a judgment on these trades. Still a long way to go, but both teams have been going well and have dropped back. Talking about Dallas and Phoenix.
Is this indirectly saying how good, how much respect all these GMs have for the San Antonio program? The fact that they would all go out and make these kinds of moves. I mean, all San Antonio did is get older. They brought on Damon Stoudemire and Kurt Thomas, added 2 veteran players, a lot of experience to kind of bolster the core group.
But those were outstanding moves that did not affect the starting lineup.
Yes. Yes,
I mean, that roster is so deep now.
What I'm saying is Parker, Ginobili, and Duncan obviously threw enough fear into everybody that they made these moves.
And Barry coming back after the 30 days.
I'm told by our producer, Scooter Bettino, Czar, you should leave and head to the Dallas bench. Very Reggie and I are kind of hoping that Avery shakes you off.
Very discouraging.
Our sideline reporter filling in for Cheryl Miller, a little under the weather today. McGrady to the rim with 15 seconds to play here in the third quarter.
Tracy McGrady is putting on a show for our good friend, Sir Charles.
17-point Rocket lead, and it gets worse and worse. Last touch by Bass. Final seconds of the quarter. There's Lazar making his way to the.
Know where he's going.
No, Dallas sideline, and that's the end of the third quarter. Tracy McGrady, 24 points, 11 in the third. A big third quarter for Rafer Alston. And the Rockets up by 17. Back in Dallas, TNT NBA Thursday is being presented by the United States Marine Corps. Moments ago, the Czar talked with Dallas head coach Avery Johnson.
Coach, the Rockets shot 54% in the first half, yet you were down only 2. But the backcourt of McGrady and Alston has really torched you.
Yeah, they came out really aggressive in the third quarter. We were shooting jump shots. They were driving to the basket. They protected the paint. We didn't. So we're going to try to turn that around here in the fourth quarter.
What adjustments going into the fourth quarter can you make?
Well, we got to try to get in the bonus some kind of way first, and we're not going to do it shooting jump shots, and we got to do a better job of protecting the paint.
Thank you, Coach.
Okay.
Back to me, Marv.
Thanks, Mike.
Reggie, first time in an NBA telecast that an announcer has thrown to himself.
What would you say if Craig Sager, while you were coaching, said your guards are getting torched? What would you have said?
Thanks for being honest, Mike.
Fourth quarter underway. Here's Terry, and he's a foul. Good foul by Jackson. That will not count. Bobby Jackson holding up Jason Terry, so it's a non-shooting affair, although Dallas looking for the call on the continuation. That would be a long continuation.
Well, if it's up to Reggie, he'll give it to him. If the guy's anywhere on the court, Reggie counts the basket.
If they're scorers, yes. Yeah. If they're scorers, they should get it.
Stackhouse setting the screen. Brady able to stay with Terry. Stackhouse puts the move on Jackson and hits.
Avery Johnson really is looking for Jerry Stackhouse production to move back up. Over the last 4 years, his production has really regressed. Came here, averaged 15 points, down to 13, 12, and now 10 points this year.
But in the 3 previous games, he's gotten 15, 16, and 17 points in the 3 wins for Dallas against Houston.
McGrady from way downtown. 27 from McGrady. The Rockets lead 90-72. Here's George for the runner, and the tip by Dampier.
You could see Rick Adelman talking to Bobby Jackson and Tracy McGrady on how they wanted to play that pick and roll, trying to make an adjustment on the fly there.
Rockets looking to make it 17 straight wins. Oh, Landry able to take that one-hop pass from McGrady. Landry has 15 points. That's 8 assists from McGrady. Howard. And the wide open shot rebounded by Battier.
Yeah, Dallas trying to stay with the same play. If they're getting good shots off it, they're staying with it. That's 3 times in a row they ran it.
McGrady feeling it. Once again attempted a 3.
That was a heat check. Heat check shot right there.
Jason Kidd sitting for quite some time. Stackhouse with the lead. Dampier is fouled. And now Kidd makes his way to the scorer's table.
It was a very simple statement that Rick Adelman made to us prior to the game, but it's so true in watching his team. He said they just play hard. Each night, they play hard. Normally during the course of an NBA season, teams will go through a drought, a period where you don't get the same energy from them. But he said it hasn't happened to us, whether it's the starters, whether it's the reserves. Each night they've come out and given us high energy, and that's what we see tonight.
Bad-looking free throw from Eric Dampier. Rockets with a number of high-energy guys. They got Battier, you got Scola, Alston the way he has played this season, Chuck Hayes, the rookie, Carl Landry, Bobby Jackson is always energy.
And now they're going to have to use Mutombo, who's one of those role players as well, for, as Adelman says, 20 to 28 minutes a night. It's rare to see so many hard work players on a particular NBA team.
McGrady is fouled. Squeezing his way along the baseline, and he'll head to the line to shoot 2.
Well, Coach Fratello, you talked about Tracy McGrady and his size at 6'8", being able to look over the double team. He finds Shane Battier for a wide open 3, and what do you do when you come up with a turnover? Look ahead and try to get it to your speedy point guard Skip, and right here, bounce pass for the easy lane for Rafer Alston. So yes, his scoring has declined. Injuries are starting to mount up, but 8 assists tonight for Tracy McGrady, along with 28 points. Just doing it all for the Rockets on this 16-game winning streak.
That is overly polite. Coach Fratello.
Thank you, Rich.
Fratello.
What is it, a doctorate that he has?
He'll always be a coach.
We are early fourth quarter, and the Rockets now lead by 19. Stackhouse, yes.
Nice effective step back move that time. Try to get some space between McGrady, the defender, to get a look at the rim. So Stackhouse to the step back.
Oh, the lob to McGrady, thrown by Alston.
Stackhouse had turned his back on the basketball. McGrady knew it. The passer knew it. Alston, he just put it to the rim.
Stackhouse. Rebounded by Dampier. They try to tie him up. Jackson and Battier had their hands on the ball, but a foul is called.
The defender turns his back to the basket. Eye contact between McGrady and Alston leads for the lob to the rim. McGrady just jumps over the top of Stackhouse with the finish. Lob and the finish by McGrady. Tracy McGrady with 31 points, and he got 2 of them the easy way by using his size, strength, and legal ability to go up and grab the pass by Alston and finish at the rim. Easy 2 for Tracy McGrady.
Well, Coach, you remember in 2005 in that first round against the Mavericks, that unbelievable dunk he had on Sean Bradley going baseline, and all Bradley could do was turn his back to him. Watch out, big fella!
Well, the Rockets did win that game, but the Mavericks came back from a 2-0 deficit and took that series in 7. Eric Dampier at the line, and again comes up short. Only a 59% free throw shooter, now 1 of 3. See the stat line for McGrady. What is most impressive, the 8 assists along with the good shooting. Whoa, he went short and then long.
Somewhere in the middle there, I guess, right? Short and then long.
Jackson and Alston in the backcourt. McGrady now up front with Landry and Battier. Here's Jackson for 3.
Bobby Jackson from downtown, much better three-point shooter than he is inside the three-point line.
99-77. McGrady knocking it away from Stackhouse. And then Stackhouse scores. Tracy McGrady has 9 of Houston's last 14 points, and he assisted on the other 5. Alston wide open. Kid able to track it down. Howard from Kidd. So that time, good communication between the two. 6 assists for Kidd. It's a 99-81 Rocket lead. They double up on McGrady. Shot clock to 5. Alston for 3. And Kidd with the rebound.
That's what they're hoping for, to try and get the ball, to miss a couple long jumpers, see if they can get out in the open and hit a couple themselves.
Terry rimmed out.
Dallas is trying to trap around the court, try to get some quick, easy shots.
Jackson again from downtown. Bobby Jackson with another 3. He has 8 points off the bench.
Rick Allen has been waiting for the night that Bobby Jackson will finally break out of it and start making some shots, and this certainly looks like that night.
Battier with the block on Dampier. And the Mavericks are hearing boos from this crowd.
Bobby Jackson, when you swing the ball around the top of the court, easy, wide open shot for Bobby Jackson.
Howard. 19 points for Howard. Bobby Jackson playing only a 6th game with the Rockets, acquired from the Hornets just before the trade deadline. That deal for Mike James and Bonzi Wells. Played for Rick Adelman with the Sacramento Kings. Shot clock to 5. Battier got the step, and he is hit So Shane Battier will head to the line. The foul on Dampier. The NBA on TNT continues coming up next. It's the award-winning Inside the NBA, where new Boston Celtic Sam Cassell will talk with John Thompson. And then next week, it's an NBA doubleheader. Cavaliers and Wizards. Warriors go up against the Suns. Coverage begins 8 o'clock Eastern Time.
Well, we also got to mention again, Dirk suspended for tonight's game because of the flagrant 2 call against Andrei Kirilenko of the Utah Jazz. It probably would have been a different looking game if you have Dirk Nowitzki playing tonight for the Mavericks.
But Dallas now headed for a 3rd consecutive loss. 4 out of the last 5 in the loss column. Here's Bass battling hard to get that shot off. And over the last 10 games, they've gone just 5-5. The record is 39-22. Saturday night, Mavericks home for the Nets. Jason Kidd goes up against Devin Harris. And the homestand continues with the Knicks, the Bobcats, and the Pacers. And once again, the Rockets head to the line. Landry will shoot a couple. Houston Rockets looking to make it 17 straight wins. That foul was on Terry. They have won 20 of their last 21. This crowd filing out. Big lead for Houston.
The NBA on TNT. Brought to you by Hyundai. Discover the power of thoughtful engineering at thinkaboutit.com. By Red Lobster. Indulge in your favorite lobster creations during Lobster Fest at Red Lobster. By Old Spice Pro Strength. And by T-Mobile, the official wireless partner of the NBA. T-Mobile, stick together.
TBS congratulates Tyler Perry's House of Pain, winner of 3 NAACP Image Awards for Best Comedy Series, Best Actor LeVan Davis, and Best Supporting Actor Lance Gross. See it every Wednesday night starting at 9
on TBS.
Look at the standings in the Western Conference. San Antonio winning earlier tonight, beat the Pacers 108-97. Manu Ginobili at 28 to lead the way, so they're a half game over the Lakers. The Hornets 2 games back. Houston can end the evening 2.5 behind. And Dallas will drop 5 back, only 1 game in front of the 8th place Warriors, only 2 over Denver.
You know, you talked about who wants to play San Antonio, Golden State in the first round. What about the Lakers versus Dallas? This very Dallas team. They played great on Sunday. That overtime game, Kobe goes for 52. There's going to be some unbelievable first-round matchups out here in the West.
Guys, how about these numbers? Our statistician Brian Taylor passing on that since the end of the first quarter, the Rockets have 19 assists, only 1 turnover. Pretty impressive. You don't care.
Come on, Coach. You love things like this.
He was mulling it as Howard hits again.
No, what I was thinking about, honestly, was if they hang on and win this game to make it 17 straight, how about they then have 5 out of the next 6 games at home, the 1 away game at Atlanta. I mean, this team is on some roll, and they have an opportunity to really move up in that Western Conference standing.
Just under 5 minutes remaining in the 4th. Jackson is on fire. He has 10 points. He's hit 2 threes. J.J. Barea has come on for the first time. Has the ball, working on Rafer Alston.
Because of this lead, Rick Adelman has been able to keep Mutombo on the bench. Just over 19 minutes tonight for Dikembe Mutombo. Just what he told us, somewhere between 20 and 28 minutes is what he'd like to use him.
And this is the type of matchup where Mutombo would play because of the big center, Eric Dampier. Antoine Wright, another former Net who came to Dallas in the deal involving Jason Kidd and Devin Harris, has come on for the first time. Antoine Wright, a first-round pick of the Nets 3 years ago. And he's defending now on Jackson. Here's McGrady stepping back. Rebounded by Bass. Barea gets it down low to Juwan Howard. Wright not able to hit. And last touched by the Rockets. Now Malik Allen will come on for Brandon Bass. And Rick Adelman looking to make some changes as Tracy McGrady departs. Terrific all-around performance by McGrady. 31 points, 9 assists.
Marv, how about at halftime? Jason Terry had 17 points. As he leaves the game now with 4 minutes to go, he still has 17 points. Held scoreless here in the second half by the Houston defense.
And Barea lost it. Scola knocked it aside, but it carried out of bounds.
Well, you know, we were speaking with Rick Ellerman before the game, and he's saying how prideful his team is on taking defense as its priority. Tonight, 85 points. Mavericks only shooting 42%. That's where they're getting it done.
Antoine Wright off the drive for his first bucket. 107-87 Rockets. On their way to adding to that franchise record, coming in with 16 straight wins. Jackson is called for the offensive foul as he went behind the back, called for a push. And Houston continues to do it with Yao Ming's sideline. I don't know how long this is going to last, but they will be 5-0 since Yao went down with that stress fracture of his foot. Antoine Wright again.
Well, earlier in the year when Tracy McGrady went down for 12 games because of a knee injury, the Rockets found a way to win ball games, and now for the rest of the season they're going to have to do that without Yao. And you know, Rick Adelman's team is growing up in front of his eyes right now.
But how far can this team go without Yao Ming?
Well, it's going to be tough because when you're going against a front line like a Lakers with Bynum potentially, Pau Gasol, Lamar Odom, you're going to need size. Or if you're going against Amari Stoudemire and Shaquille O'Neal, you're going to need size. And as much as I love Dikembe Mutombo at so-called 41, it's going to be tough for him to do.
So-called 41.
So-called. I think I'm on Chuck's bandwagon with that one, if he's really 41.
2.5 to go in the game. 107-89 Houston in a blowout of the Mavericks. Shot clock down at 3. Alston. Rafer Alston with another beautiful drive. That's a season high 24 points. Barea looking for the screen. And here's Barea from deep for 3.
You know, Coach, you talked about the Rockets having 5 of their next 6 at home. Sets up a huge matchup on Saturday against the New Orleans Hornets, who are playing pretty good right now as well.
Timeout is called. Czar will have the answer to that when we come back. That was a question.
Yes, it was.
Now it's time for the U.S. Army strong performance of the night. Toss up between Tracy McGrady. Rafer Alston, our staff, goes with Rafer.
A few of his 10 field goals on the way to 24 points, doing it a variety of ways in transition, teardrop, jump shot. Rafer Alston showing us his complete arsenal tonight. 24 points for Rafer Alston.
Alston with a season high, along with 4 assists. You can log on to TNT Overtime on NBA.com to see more U.S. Army strong performances. Luther Head has come on, as has Steve Novak, who knocks down a 3. Second-year man out of Marquette. Now they say it's a 2. He is a long-range shooter, but had a foot on the line. This is George for 3.
And Novak had that big game winner right before the break, I believe, against the Denver Nuggets at the buzzer to keep this streak alive.
Aaron Brooks, the rookie from Oregon, going to the crossover and is fouled by Juwan Howard. Brooks, a first-round pick of the Rockets. There he is, wearing the number 0. Led the Pac-10 in scoring as a senior last season, averaging 18 a game. Our producer tonight, Scooter Bertino, director Renardo Lowe, celebrating his 15th anniversary as a director for Turner Sports.
Gotta love it.
Right out of college.
You've gotta love it.
Under the guidance of Scooter Bertino.
Does that make him a protege?
Yeah. Associate Director Tom Heitz. And that's a 3 for Antoine Wright. Production assistants Dave Olszewski, Denzel Floyd, our statistician Brian Taylor. We're final minute of this fourth quarter as we have hit extensive garbage time here down the stretch. Bobby Jones way off as Rick Adelman has cleared his bench. Novak comes up with it, and he was hit. Foul committed by George. Dallas over the limit, so Novak will go to the line. How about only 6 turnovers tonight for the Rockets? That's a season low, and ties for the second lowest ever in franchise history, unless there is a slew of turnovers here in the final 38 seconds. Steve Novak, last season in limited action, with 13 of his 18 field goals coming from three-point range. He appeared in 35 games. Second-round pick last year out of Marquette. The Rockets will go to 41-20, and the Mavericks will drop to 39-23 with 3 straight losses. Here's Barea again for 3.
As I'm looking at the end of the Dallas bench, there's Tyrone Lue and Eddie Johnson, both in street clothes, and those will be welcome addition. Eddie Jones, excuse me, a welcome addition for Avery Johnson when those guys get healthy for the Mavericks.
Yeah, Eddie Jones out with tendonitis in his left knee. Final seconds. Here's Brooks. Got to put the speed on. And time has run out. 113-98 final. The Rockets defeating the Mavericks. Houston has won 17 in a row, 21 of their last 22. Rafer Alston, season high 24. Tracy McGrady, 31 points and 9 assists. And the high point men for Dallas, Josh Howard with 21, although did not shoot well. Jason Terry with 17 all in the first half. And Jason Kidd only 7.6 assists and 6 rebounds. There's the final. The Rockets 113, the Mavericks 98. Dallas now looks ahead to the Nets on Saturday night. The homestand will continue with the Knicks, the Bobcats, and the Pacers, while the Rockets are back home Saturday for the Hornets. So that wraps it from Dallas, Texas. You're watching TNT, the exclusive home of the 2008 Western Conference Finals. For Reggie Miller, the czar Mike Fratello, I'm Marv Albert saying good night from Dallas. We now take you to our studios in Atlanta. Let's go to Ernie.